topic today is Our Father Cares. Paul starts in Romans chapter 8, verse 18, and he says, I consider our present sufferings. Now in life, very few of us like to think or consider our sufferings, but the reality is that all of us suffer at some stage, or perhaps even at the moment, you're going through a hard time, and that there's some specific challenge in your life that God has for you or that you are experiencing. In Romans chapter 8, Paul speaks directly into this area, particularly from verse 18 to verse 39. There's 5 things that Paul shows us there about how God cares for us while we're in a difficult time. Firstly, it says that Paul writes for us in verse 18 that our present sufferings are not worth comparing to the future destiny that God has for us. The reality is that life at the moment isn't as it should be. But while we're suffering, we must know that this life is not all there is. That God will set things right in our lives in the present, but eventually one day too, He will fix all creation and everything, give us new bodies even, because our Father cares for us. In Romans 8, Paul also says that God is working for the good in all things in our life, to those who love God and who are called according to His purpose. This is verse 28. And when we're in sufferings, we must know that God is working good in our lives. If we try and align our lives with His word, and we're doing everything we know to follow Him and please Him, God will work good in our lives, in our sufferings. Romans 8:31 says that God is for us. And the thing we often do when we hit hard times and suffering is that we think and forget, we lose proper perspective that God is for us. We sometimes even wonder if God's abandoned us or if we've done something wrong. Romans 8:31 clearly assures us that God is for us. And not only that, when we're in hard times, Romans 8:35 says that nothing can separate us from the love of God. No matter what hardship you are in, no matter what suffering you are going through, nothing in all of creation can separate you from the love of God, because our Father deeply and truly cares for us. Lastly, in Romans, we see in verse 37 that Paul writes and he says that in all these things we will be conquerors. We can overcome. And we must also hear that our Father cares for us by letting us know that we can overcome in our lives. And so I wonder how you have been responding to the hard times, perhaps the suffering that you're in. I trust that the Lord will enable you by His Spirit not to lose perspective, to know that He is working good in your life. He is for you and not against you, and that that nothing at all that you are going through can separate you from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus.